in the kitchen, Christmas on the stove. Daddy's in the woodshed with axe and overcoat. Everybody's helping to place and trim the tree. The picture's almost perfect. It's only missing me. But I'm coming home for Christmas. Save a place for me. I'll arrive before St. Nicholas places gifts beneath the tree. Leave a candle burning and a key underneath the mat. I'm coming home for Christmas. You can count on that. Snow is gently falling as I make my way toward home. I hear sweet memories calling. I've been a long time gone. Nothing like the family and friends to celebrate. The fun, the food, the music of the special holiday. Oh, and I'm coming home for Christmas. Save a place for me. I'll arrive before St. Nicholas places gifts beneath the tree. So leave a
FlossTube. I'm Chrissy, finally a farm girl. Welcome to my FlossTube channel. It is Sunday, December 4th, 2022. I hope you enjoyed the holiday home tour at the beginning of the video. It was something that I did last year and I really enjoyed having it. As much for you as for me. I think it's fun to see your home transition through the years over the holidays. I also think it will be fun, hopefully maybe one day when my kids are older and go, feel a little nostalgia and maybe want to go back in time a little bit, they'll have that to go to. So I hope you enjoyed it. I am not finished. I have not completely finished my Christmas decorating. I need to put together the Dickens Village that I have, and that takes a little bit of time. I definitely need to do it when my son is asleep at night, where I can completely be hands-on. So it's one of the last things to go out, and I'm also trying to figure out where I want to have it this year. Last year I had it on my red hutch in the dining room, and even though it was really cute and I really liked it, and it was at a good level for my grandkids, because it was just on the lower level and they could look right in at it, or at least Aria could. It's also something that I don't think everybody gets the full benefit out of seeing. It needs a little more space. So I'm trying to give it some thought, and I'm trying to figure out where I might put it this year. So we'll see. And then maybe I'll be able to share a little video of that when it finds its home next Sunday on my FlossTube. So if you're new here, welcome. Typically you don't have that at the beginning of my FlossTubes, but 'tis the season, and I absolutely love sharing my home with you. Home is my favorite place. It just allows me to express everything I am. And of course, there's a lot of stitching, and there's going to be more to come year after year. So I hope you enjoyed just taking a little peek inside where we call home. And it's a functioning home. So if you noticed in the master bedroom, I have a son with special needs. He has a seizure disorder. Most of you know this, but if you're new, you'll notice there's 2 beds in the master bedroom, and that is the best solution to make sure that he is safe all night long. Since seizures primarily happen going to bed or waking up, and it's just, for Philip's situation, he has them all the time. So it just depends on how big they are, and they can be worse at night. So let's move on, but that's why, we don't normally cram 2 beds into a room for adults, but it works best for us, and it's the safest solution. So, okay, let's move on. What did I do this week? Well, one of the biggest things I'm happy about was that I sat down and I started my model stitch. It's not something I'll share. Obviously, I've talked about that before, but I really like it. I am really excited about this one. I'm kind of bummed because it's not one that I will be keeping, and I just typically never stitch something twice, so I'm a little bummed because I'm not going to want to let it go. And but other than that, I got some good progress on it. It's not a terribly huge piece, so I'll work some more on it this week. And I also have had a good time with some Christmas stitching. I did put some work into, I forgot it. I'm going to see if I can grab it for you. I did put some progress in my prairie schooler that I'm working on, and I forgot about that night that I did work on that. I did a movie at my dad's, and that was Wednesday, and I worked on the model stitch that night. So that's when I was like, okay, come Thursday, I took a little bit of break from it. Friday, Saturday, I went to Brick City Cross Stitch, my local needle shop, and I needed to get organized for next year, January 2023 releases. I have about 4 designed and ready to go. I need to drop off to one model stitcher there, and I really wanted to grab and coordinate my floss and put the last finishing touches. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about those. I'm excited to share those with you next year, which I cannot believe is right around the corner. I can't believe that. My dad did an amazing job decorating his house for Christmas this year. I'm so proud of him. I know that's just, I shouldn't feel that it's silly to say that, but he's my dad. I want him to be proud of me, but I am so proud of him. This house that he moved into and he did so much work on, and now this is the first Christmas in the house, and it's just, he did a beautiful job, just a beautiful job decorating it in a perfect way for him. And so that was exciting to go see and put my 2 cents in. I have today, my plans are to jump on my sewing machine and stitch up a couple more finishes that I have. And so I need to be brave and try the stocking. I shared that with you last week. And so I do want to try and finish this one today, fully finish. So this is from Home for the Holidays, Blackbird Designs, and I shared this with you before, and I have not gotten around to putting it into a finish, but I would like to do that today. I also have 2 Prairie Schoolers. I shared them with you last week too, but I would like to go ahead and finish those up as well and get them in my dough bowl that you saw in the video at the beginning of this FlossTube. Okay, so that's my plans for today. Last Saturdays during the holidays, Team Egner, Tina, who has Team Egner's Etsy shop, and Ginger Scholl, both from Instagram, we include others as well, and if you can't jump in, you can't jump in. But we've been picking little stitches, one night finish stitch. So one night we did do Saturday stocking stitching. That's hard to say. This particular week we did, Tina shared with us a free pattern by Scissortail Designs. So it's called Noel Ornament, and it's by Scissortail Designs. So it is, let me give you the email. Oh no, you don't need the email. She's on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm going to get, this was from 2021. So my guess is you would be able to look it up somewhere and or her Facebook and find out and print it out for yourself. So I decided I was going to do it a little bit different. Ginger and Tina both did, I'm sure, like the called for or picked close enough colors, and it is, both are adorable, absolutely adorable. I can't wait to see their full finishes. I decided I wanted to do it in red work. I don't have as many ornaments in red work, and I feel like I can plug those pieces in anywhere, and they go, and they kind of help balance out the other ones with color. So this was my finish. This is Noel Ornament by Scissortail Designs, and I just literally did everything in DMC 347, which I believe is a soft red. You'll notice it's used a lot in Lori Holt's patterns. So it wasn't my typical deep red, but I was kind of interested in using this flannel, doing something a little different. The back is just a real soft muted green flannel, and so it's really soft, and I love it. So I put a little Rusty Bell. I did put a charm on because I thought, if perchance I don't get to stitch too many ornaments this year, I definitely wanted to put the year that I stitched this. And we already have our next week's picked out that we'll be stitching. And so, you can find a lot of free ornament cross-stitch patterns on Pinterest. You can find a lot of them out there, and typically I find that those are the ones that you can accomplish in a night. Tina and I did this years ago where for a good while, every Saturday, we had picked, we would pick a pattern. We didn't care if we had the called for, we would do the best we could, and that's what we would do Saturday night stitching. and it was just fun. It was fun to see the difference in finishes, and you feel like you're connected miles away. So it's fun to have picked that back up again, and it's fun to include others. I believe one weekend Linda did it, and for the stocking, and she has something interesting to do. So anyways, that was my FFO of the week, and I've had it in the bowl. Right now I put it on my Christmas tree in the kitchen that has all the finishes on it, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. So, because I finished it up really late last night when I was watching the U of M Purdue game. I'm so proud of U of M right now. That's all I got to say. My grandfather used to have season tickets. I'm a Michigander. Yes, I've been in Florida for 25 years, but I grew up in Michigan, in Clarkston. I graduated from Clarkston High School, and my whole family was in Michigan. My grandfather absolutely loved football and U of M, and so we had 50-yard line season tickets. My mom's cousin lived in Ann Arbor, so it just stays. It just stays with us, and I just, what a game, and it was really fun. So, anyways, that's what I was watching last night instead of going to the Jingle Bell ball. I did go to the Jingle Bell ball Friday night. I'm not gonna lie. I did end up with a little FOMO on Friday. I had not bought my ticket, and in 2 seconds, I just couldn't take it anymore and thought, I don't want to miss out. For $10 and to support our designers, I quickly in the parking lot bought my ticket, and Friday night went out and kind of checked everything. And I know they were working on a couple of things they had to troubleshoot, but I think that they did a phenomenal job. Not only did the aesthetics of the page looked so nice, and I think they did really great. And so I did a little shopping Friday night, and I looked around at everything and watched a few videos, said to myself I was going to join the pajama party spot where you could go stitch, and I bought my Christmas pajamas, and then Randy reminded me that U of M was on, and I just kind of got engrossed, and it just didn't happen. However, if you want to talk about haul right now, we could jump into haul, and I will share with you that during the, one second here, during my first entry into the Jingle Bell Ball with Lindy's, there was 12 designers, and I'm sure everybody knows this by now. But the one that I really loved was Teresa Kogut, who I met in Davisburg, Michigan at a craft show one year. And that was really fun. I was with my mom and dad, and I just loved it. So she was, Teresa's super cool. But it was really cool to meet her, because before I had done any stitching, I just absolutely was addicted to her fabric and her bears. So I've always loved her stuff. But I ended up with this pattern, Deck the Halls, which was the exclusive for the Jingle Bell Ball. So it's not too big, but I really love this design. I love her dress. I love that it's not a snowman. It's still Christmas, but it's not Santa. I think it's different. I don't have anything like this. So I'm really motivated to stitch this, and I don't think I'll wait very long to start it. I do want to make sure that I'm in good control of my model stitch before I allow myself to jump in on something like this. But I loved that Teresa had a color. It told you right on there that you could have the color pattern or the black and white. This also has the pattern on the whole page in case you stitch off your phone. And it's 115 by 129. So I really liked this. It was nice that some designers offered a sale in their shop, that it just would happen automatically. So it was really nice, and I think they did a really great job. I know that today you can still go in on Sunday and still purchase. So, I'm excited. I just, like I said, I think it's unique. I don't know about the cat. I'm personally kind of all about the lady. And I do have a black cat, which you met last week. Her name is Kiwi. She has those big green eyes. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure. But that was part of my haul. Then, when I went up to Brick City Cross Stitch, I had mail. And it just means you have stuff that you have to buy that you've ordered in your folder. And I love that. But I always say I have mail at Brick City. I have to go. I have to go pick up my mail. So the one that I knew I had coming in was the Brenda Gervais Santa Stops Here. I absolutely love this. I know it won't be this year. I do know that there is a sale starting January 1st. I know Stitchy Linda is gonna host the sale. I believe with Martha Cross Stitch Crazy. I'll make sure that the details come out before the start on the 1st. But I believe that they are starting this on January 1st, a New Year's Day start. So that I kind of could get into. I still have slots on things that are my must-have starts because we were going to come up with 12. So, and I did learn that the stitch count on this is not near as big as Live on Little. Then I got Brenda Gervais. It came out with the same time. Rudolph and Friends. That I know I'm going to stitch soon. Maybe Ginger and Tina, maybe you want to stitch this on a Saturday night. It does not look like it's, would take you too long. The stitch count is, the other one told you on the back. It calls for, the model was stitched on a 36 count Winter's Brew R&R. I shall open it. Okay. And it's so cool because the pattern's in color. Love it. I love that there's a cardinal. So that's fun. It just says it's, I know the stitch counts here somewhere. It's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 on 36 count, worked over 2 threads. I know there has to be a stitch count in here, but either way, she gives you the size of the piece, so maybe it's just different this time. She says you're going to want an 8 by 8 piece of 36 count. So either way, I know I'm going to stitch this. Let me show it to you without the glare. There's Kiwi right back there on my sewing mat. See? She's a great cat, but she violates everything. Look, that's Stitchy Basket. Wouldn't want to walk on the floor or anything. It's just they like the back of that couch. It's really cushy. Okay. So Rudolph and Friends. Let me know if anybody's starting this. And I love the red gingham. Like, I love everything about this. So this I would like to probably start this week so that I do have it as a finish for this year. I think I could stitch this one twice. I feel like this is a great one to stitch as a gift because you're not talking too many colors. You've got your deer, you've got your red, you've got your snowman. It's not too much else. What a fun one. So those were part of my haul. And then I also got, hold on 1 second here. Jean was working very hard the last time we were talking, and she was working on cutting fabric, getting a lot of things off the boat, getting ready for next year, and she had put together in her, she has little remnant baskets, an Aida basket and a linen basket, and I rated that. Because this is the time of year, like I said, we might message each other, any friend, Tina, Linda, doesn't matter, Ginger, and say, hey, you want to start this tonight? And so I loved that I was able to pick up these little baggies for $3 of these perfectly cut size fabrics, and there's 2 in each. So like in this one, you've got an overdyed or an antiqued modeled, and then on this side you have mushroom. and non-modeled. So it tells you 32 count, and everything was, you know, in that particular, in these bags, it tells you it was $3. So this one, I got this, and then there was actually a piece of white. So as silly as this seems like for haul, when you can go 3, 6, 9, 12 and walk out with these pieces that are already cut. So here's a 32 count, almost like a summer khaki. Love that, and probably would be good for the Brenda Gervais one. Even though it's 32 count, it would probably still be okay. Then I got, this is a 32 count oatmeal. And this is not your, you know, it was still half off. The remnants and the things are half off, but this was a nice bigger piece. It's an odd shape, but I don't care for ornaments. So it's oatmeal. I just got myself some really good colors. And this, I was able to use the back side of this one. This is a 30 or 28 count. And so I used the second piece of this for here. So I just pulled it out and went to town, and it's just great. They're already done. Then I did pick up a piece of Aida that is called 14 count Gray Magic. Let me show you this. It's a little bit bigger, but I like to have, I have one model stitcher who prefers to stitch on Aida, and so I try to find the ones that are really soft and that I like for an occasional model stitch. So I loved that blue. So again, half off, you can't beat it. So if you have not, if you're local and you haven't been up to Brick City, you know, not everything in cross stitch has to be super expensive. You don't always have to look at the back of a pattern and do it exactly the way it calls for. You can change it up, and there is a way to do stuff on a budget. You know, use DMC versus the dyed floss, or pick one dyed floss that works for a good chunk on your piece. And that's kind of like how I've been enjoying designing. So if I am designing something and I've got a big coat or a big hat, I'm going to use the dyed floss for that and give it some texture. But I would like to help out the stitcher by not doing everything in a dyed floss. If they want to, they can do it themselves and make that decision. So I try to balance it out. But I think that's it does not have to be as expensive. It can be. You know, you can do whatever you need to do with silks and things like that. But this is one really nice way to grab some linen, make a stash, and be able to pull something out when you want to. So this last piece I got was 28 count summer khaki, which I love. I believe that's what the Patriotic Christmas Eve that a lot of people asked about when I showed them my Christmas pieces last week by Twin Peak Primitives. I could have got it off the wall, but the two pieces that were Mr. and Mrs. Claus by the fireplace and Mr. and Mrs. Claus in the kitchen by the fireplace, those two, the one with the flag is a Patriotic Christmas Eve, and the other one, I don't recall the name, but they're in the kitchen and they're having cocoa. Those are both by Twin Peak Primitives. So I believe I used 28 count. I think they were summer khaki. They look a lot like mushroom, but anyways, so that was really my haul. Just a couple of patterns, and I just really jumped in on the little $3 bags, and so that I could, knowing that we're doing all these ornaments, and other than that, I really didn't do a lot. I feel like this is such a great time of year to stitch all the little ornaments, clean up and organize. I did watch Stitching with Mel. So if you have not watched her yet, she's always a joy to watch. I'm trying to think of who else I watched. I watched a few. Unfortunately, the TV in our family room, this is life. Life is life. It is what it is. But we ended up picking up a new washer and dryer with all the wonderful sales that are going on right now. And then our TV broke out on out on the sun porch. So, and that's typically when I watch FlossTube. I don't watch FlossTube at night a lot like some people do. I watch it during the day when Philip's playing and we're out on the porch and I put it on and I can stitch or, you know, design or whatever. So that TV decided it was all done. So, you know, no biggie, but I did not watch as much FlossTube this week. And, you know, when I'm at my dad's, we watch our thing. We watch Longmire. So, okay, I think I covered, I wanted to share my whips and, second here, my one other whip besides Prairie Schooler that I worked on was I jumped on the Plum Street Cardinal Kin. I'm stitching this now. A lot of my other friends are finished, but I'm stitching this with Christine from Hollis Hands Creates. She has an Etsy shop. And so a few people said that they could not get it. They were looking around at their LNS and their LNS didn't have it. I believe Christine is gone. She's on vacation, but she will be back next week and she has some. So don't worry. Check out her Etsy shop if you need it. And this is my progress. I'm working on the female cardinal. And I put another leaf in and some of this. I am missing the color that goes in here. And I really don't want to play too much with the colors, so when Philip and I go out this week, I will grab that and then I can fill in. But it's really an enjoyable stitch. I am using all the called for. I have the fun tags from Team Egner and Floss Drop that you can find in her Etsy shop. So they're super pretty. And I will focus on this a lot this week. Knowing that we're gonna start another ornament Saturday, I'll focus on this and not worry about maybe picking one up. So I'll work on my model stitch and I'll work on this one and I'll work on my Prairie Schooler, which if I can, I'll see if I can grab that for you. I'm down on the last reindeer. So it's a fun one. It really, really is. And I know that hopefully will be another one that I can pull off a finish this year. Maybe not have it back in time, but you never know. I also wanted to share, I have fallen with all these finishes I do, as far as pillow finishes. Not like I do hundreds of finishes, but I have been using like a bare filling. So I've always used the polyfill. I always used, and you sit there and you have to pluck it apart so it doesn't get lumpy. This stuff is for like bare filling. And I got this at Hobby Lobby and it was $6, I think. $6.99, but it goes on sale. It's got a zipper top. And a lot of people asked me last year with my Dickens Village, what did I use for the snow? This, because it looks like this. And so it is the softest, it is not itchy. And maybe it's a little more expensive, but I don't think $7 and when you can get it on sale is bad for this. So I used this around because it looks like snow. And then it was just real easy and it didn't have the glitter in it and all that. So this is also what I use to stuff my pillows because it goes in so easy and I just reach in and grab it. I don't have to pull it apart. I don't have to do that. So just in case you're looking for something different for stuffing, I like this. It's basically, they say it's great for stuffing bears and stuffing animals and dolls. So, but I love it, and I would rather pay a little more on that, and not have that itchy stuff, and enjoy it. Enjoy when I'm finishing my pieces. All right, I had two pieces that I shared on Instagram that were my mom's stitching that I took up and had reframed. They were done in '94. They are 2 shepherd's bush, and I love them. The finishing was, they did not match, their frames did not match. One was in a gold frame and the other one was in a mauve frame. And you could just tell it needed some refreshing. So I took the pieces to Mike at Hobby Lobby, who does my framework, and we talked about it. I wanted to save some costs, and I'll share with you what I've got here on the first one. Let's see if I can get the glares out. Okay. So this is the first one, and what we did, that's my chair, sorry, was we repurposed the glass, so that's why it's not museum glass and there's a glare, so it's not easy to take pictures of it. But this is Mom Stitchin', and I just loved it, and I wanted to stick with the darker frame one because I thought it would look so much better with the moon. Both of these are moon stitches. So this one, I believe the name of the pattern was Winter Moon. So let me get it a little bit closer. But these deserve to be cherished and on the wall. There's beads, I mean, there's pulled threads. These are intensive stitch band samplers. So I just was so happy to go ahead, and I chose, because there was gonna be some fading, and we made sure that we kept the open area the same size. So it meant I needed to mat it. So what I did was I like a black mat, even on a black frame. And then we went to a really dark brown to just even come in a little more and give it that cut. So this was one, Winter Moon. And whether or not they did go together, I feel like they did because of the moon. And this one is Autumn Moon, I believe. Harvest Moon, sorry. So a little bit lighter color. This was the one that had the mauve frame. But you can see all the beads down there. She stitched it in 94. And I just love them. And to see them now, compared, I just can't tell you how big of a difference it makes the stitching to be in the right frame. So I feel like these will now be handed down and not sit in the closet, and I love that. I love that those pieces now will go up on the wall, and I can cherish her, her hard work for many years to come, and so can the grandkids. So those were really fun to pick up, and I wanted to take 2 seconds to remind you, on Saturday, December 17th from 8 to 1, I will be at Wildwood Antique Mall in Wildwood, Florida. I will make sure that we insert my little flyer or artwork that tells about it, but I am going to do a trunk show with and have my patterns for sale for you there. I'm going to have some of the floss that I use there in case you want to make it very convenient for yourself and grab some of the floss and be ready. I'm excited. I really hope that if you happen to be in the area and are an antique lover or thrift shopper and cross stitcher and you're in Central Florida, that maybe you'll find your way to my booth. It's on that Saturday. So it starts, like I said, 8 to 1, and I won't have every piece I've ever stitched, but I will have several of my model pieces on display with patterns and some fun pricing and some things like that. So I've got some ideas. So I hope to see you there. I know for a fact several of you have made some comments, so I think it's going to be fun. And I know that my dad and I are going to get up in the morning. We're going to get up there and get the booth set up, and then Randy and Philip are going to come up later so that they can help out. So if you're in the area, please come say hi. I would love that. I'm a huge antique lover, so I just thought, what could be better for me? It's everything I love. Antiques, vintage, thrifting. There's a little sidewalk area. That's where I'll be with about, I believe, 10 other vendors. So I think if you're at all in Central Florida, I'd love to see you. And other than that, my plans this week are, I've kind of already shared. I'm going to paint a hutch today. That's one different thing. It is going to be for my trunk shows. It's a children's hutch, and I'm going to use that to display my model pieces. So I'm kind of excited to get it in its finished form while the weather is good. We are still hitting 80 here in Florida, but the mornings are really nice, and it's a drier 80. I hope to have the grandkids spend the night next Friday. Trying to work that out right now with their mom and see if I can go pick them up and then do our Christmas cookies and cocoa and sleepover and see Great Papa. So that's kind of what I'm hoping is going to happen next Friday. There's a chance I'll go to Brick City, but I'm not confident yet. Anyways, so I think I'll probably just be model stitching and working on my Prairie Schooler, which is right there. Is that it? I will insert a picture at the end and give it, and then I'll add it in, and so that way you can see my progress, because I'm not confident quite which stitchy chair it's by. And then of course I'm going to do my Saturday stitching, because if the kids spend the night, that will be the night they go back home. So I will be in some much needed, I'll need some stitching and relaxing after that. And other than that, I think being to that point where you're decorated, I like to know when I'm done. That don't keep decorating. For me, I can't keep decorating all month. If I find something cute to add, that's one thing. But I like to get to a point where I tell myself, you're finished. Now just enjoy it. Now just sit in your home and enjoy it while it's here. Because before we turn around, it'll be gone. And this is just that time of year in my house that, you know, I don't think it feels any better than it does when you're looking around at Christmas decor and you have such a wonderful thing to be thankful for in, you know, Christ being born and all of the sweet things and stories that you can share during this time. So I'm really excited to get to that phase where I sit back and I'm done decorating and I've got my Christmas pajamas and I've got my Christmas stitching and the Christmas books are out for the grandkids, and just take it all in. So that being said, have a great week. Please be blessed. Don't forget to floss. It'll keep you sane during the holidays, because it's not always perfect during the holidays. I can tell you that. And other than that, guys, it is always so great to see you. Thank you so much for stopping in and hitting the like button and making sure you're subscribed. It's how the channel grows. And you are such a blessing to me. Thank you so much. Don't forget to floss again. Bye, guys.